because it's too good of a rum to not have with the collection.
Cheers, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bourbon Booze. It is Tuesday, it's Whiskey Day, and as promised, it's our 500th episode, numbered episode. So on the thumbnails, you see down here in the corner a little number.
Yes, it is.
So we do lots of other episodes, but this is our 500th numbered episode. We've been doing this for just over 5 years.
6.
Yeah, so it's about 100 episodes a year, which is pretty good. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so we were kind of thinking on what we should do for a celebratory episode.
We couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, couldn't get Andy up here. I've texted him, I've called him, and he's not very good at answering stuff. So, so we were kind of at a loss, and we decided we'd just jump in to the top level of...
We decided we'd just buy some really cheap swill and get back to our roots of bourbon for the common man.
So we have been doing over the past few years...
And completely ignore it and buy something really expensive.
Over the past 5 years, we've been doing the Johnnie Walker series. And we've done... Slowly. We've done most of them. We have a whole bunch more to do. But we've done them slowly. And so we decided for our 500th episode, we just jumped straight to the top for the Johnnie Walker Blue.
Which we've had for a couple years now, and it took us a couple years to finally bite the bullet and buy it, but we've been planning it since essentially year one, when we decided let's go for all the Johnnie Walkers, which was very early on, and it just took us a little while. But the blue was one I have a brother that suggested we do this, and I said, well, hey, that's a great idea. Why don't you buy us some Johnnie Walkers, especially the blue? And I haven't heard back from him. It's been 3 years. He'll give you a reimbursement on the receipt.
Yeah, if he shows up, we'll...
he'll trade you.
He'll try to get some. I'm like, nope.
Some nice gin of his.
Yeah. So Johnnie Walker Blue, it's a 80 proof, right? I always forget the proof on the blue. Most Johnnie Walkers are 80 proof. Do you see this anywhere? 750. I'm so bad at... Oh, it's 80 proof. 40% 80 proof. It's called the Blue because only 1 in 10,000 casks are selected for the blend. And so it's got blends of whiskey from 28 years up to 60 years from all across Scotland. So it could have a little bit of peated, Islay. It could have a little bit of a sweet, fruity,
it could be all
space
60 year except for one barrel of 20. You just don't
28,
know.
yeah.
Or 28.
It could have Highlands, Lowlands, Dalmore's from the Orkneys, whatever, or wherever Dalmore's from, but Highland Park's from the Orkneys. It could have a whole bunch of different stuff, and they're all unique and different, but it's the best of the best. So we're talking very rare, it's pricey. When I first started looking at it, it was $150 for a 750, and I think this is actually...
I would not consider Johnnie Walker Blue rare. I would consider it pricey and expensive, and
when you're talking only 1 out of 10,000 casket chosen,
but you can get Johnnie Walker Blue almost anywhere.
True.
You can get it at almost any bar. It's just whiskey bar.
Right.
It's always going to be expensive, like hotel bars and all that. It's just outrageous to buy a shot of.
When we started
looking,
looking,
you can get it at almost any liquor store.
And you're talking probably $60, $70 a shot at.
Yeah, at any bar.
Or better.
Yeah.
When we first started looking, it was $150 a bottle, which is really good. Went up to rather
200.
Quickly to $200 when we were seriously looking at buying it. I think we bought this one at $221.
It was right around the start of the pandemic, I think. Mm-hmm. And so the shipping caused it to spike, and then also caused a run on it because people were afraid they wouldn't be able to ship in, so they bought them all, and then it was a big thing. And then...
I've seen it drop down to 200, but I've also seen it shoot up to 300.
I don't think I've seen it below 250.
Yeah, average today is probably about 250, 260, depending on what area you live in.
It was 250 when we went to the store intending to buy it, but somebody had already bought it, and so we bought one of the Jack Daniels, I think. We were there for the Sinatra.
So I said the average price is about 250, 260 where you are, and my wife just said it's much lower. How much?
Airport exclusive for the 1 liters is now 220. Well, that's 221 pounds. So it probably is
about
260. That's a 1 liter. The Blue Label 750s in the store are dropping as low as a 181 now.
Wow.
Nice.
In 2 stores.
I'd buy another one because I actually really like the blue.
I don't think it's that expensive worthy, but it is really good.
Yeah. So, well, it's got some 60-year in here, which it doesn't have a lot of 60 because it's not overly woody.
Yeah, yeah.
But the aroma in this is a bit pungent. Because it does have some Isla in it, so it's causing some issues with that other things. But I think this one here, this bottle here, has probably got quite a bit of lowland in it. It's
My
a little bit.
not very good recently because of allergies.
It's got some stone fruit aromas to it. It's got a little smoke, but not much. Some sweetness, like honey. But it's a little bit off-putting. Now, the flavor is different to me.
The flavor is very smooth, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's excellent.
Little bit spicy for 80 proof. It's got some medicinal aspect to it. And I've had Johnnie Walker Blues in the smaller bottles, like it's 100 mil, I guess, and then even the smaller 50 mils. And I've liked every one of them, and I like this one.
I like it too. It is just a little bit pricey.
More than anything, it's a status.
Oh, yeah.
And why it's our 500th. It's like you put it on the bar
Not
because
we couldn't come up with any other ideas.
You put it on the bar for your friends to see and
maybe taste it. If they're like, I really want to get the blue, you can be like, try it first. You can decide then if it'll fit your price point to what you like. Because the reason it's so expensive, or such an expense to try and get, is because you have no idea if you're going to like it.
Right.
Unless you taste it. And who wants to spend $75 on a shot at a bar when you could just spend twice that much to get a bottle, kind of a thing?
But I've heard
it's that difficulty of jumping into getting it when you just don't know.
I think my wife was telling me that she has a friend that bought 2 bottles and drank one in one day with a friend. And I'm like, nah.
Now, that better be a good friend, or you poison the bottle and you hate that friend. I don't care. One of those two, but...
And that was back when it was over $250.
That was back, right when it was expensive.
I like the blue. I think the 18 to me is probably the best, the 18-year. I think that's probably the best, hence the reason it's down lower.
And the Jane Walkers are really good.
Of course, the Jane Walker's good. The gold is pretty good, but I still like the 18 better than the blue. But I do think the blue's fabulous. And like I said, I've had the 50 mil bottles and I think 100 mil, quite a few of those, and they're spectacular. In fact, we haven't done the 18 yet, but this one we rated as a 4. So based off our price points, this is obviously a 1 on barrel cost. It's probably a 3.5 on aroma to me.
I can't really smell it any, so...
It's a 3.5. It's got a little bit of pungent, almost rancidity type stuff to it.
Comes a little bit in the flavor, too. A little
bit
sour.
And it's probably a 4 on flavor for me. I think it's very pleasant. Most of it's on the upfront end. You can drop one in there. Most of it's up on the upfront. There's a little bit of a kind of an odd spiciness to the back end, and a little bit of...
weird. Bitter.
Yeah, almost fungal in a way. And people, we use these words to describe whiskey based off of our own kind of recollections or memories and stuff. So when I say fungal, that doesn't necessarily mean it's like gross.
Well, and we've just this recently come into a tasting where we're tasting a bottle, and some of us were tasting extreme dirt notes on one thing, but you would have never expect it from what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be an apple brandy finish. Brandy. But I was picking up absolutely no apple
brandy, right?
Yeah, and all I was getting dirt, and the person
whiskey, apple brandy finished whiskey.
Yeah, and it was the person who brought it really liked it, and they were talking about how they get all the notes that would make sense for the bottle name, and I was getting dirt. And then somebody else was talking about how that you might just, it's your taste buds, because you might have a genetic marker that makes it to where you taste a specific compound as dirt.
Yeah.
Or other things.
That was actually one of the most interesting conversations that night.
Yes.
Because lots of people had various...
It's like with the white and the blue dress picture. You can look at the same picture at the same time.
And it's gold.
See gold and white, or golden, or white and blue. I forget what it was now. And it was just like one of those cool, interesting things. And it can be the same way with these. You could buy it and taste absolute amazement and cry your eyes out at how beautiful it is, or be like, this tastes like dirt.
Bite, I think, is about a 4.
No, yeah.
I'm going to have to say, this is a 4-barrel bottle. The cost is killing it. But I think this is a 4-barrel. It's a decent... Actually, it's better than decent Scotch.
Oh, yeah, it's a fairly good Scotch.
It's not necessarily my profile. I like a nice, either sweet Speyside or a smoky Isla.
Yeah.
But,
and this is more of a bitter, woodier tones. And
it's
sweet.
It's
I'm more of a sweeter.
There's a lot of wood in this. I do like this, but tell us what you think on the Johnnie Walker Gold. Tell us what's your favorite episode over the past
Johnnie Walker Blue.
Tell us what your favorite episode over the last 500 is.
All the ones with me in it?
Yeah. I will tell you that if you get a chance, you should buy it just as a status symbol on your bar. Kind of cool.
Or if you know a friend that has it on their bar,
ask for a sample.
Ask for a taste, a little drop billet before you buy, so you know that at least you're not going to think it tastes terrible. Because it would suck if you bought a $200 bottle. Yeah,
it tastes better with a drop of water.
A little bit.
All right. I've had great time over the past few years. 500 episodes. Seems like it's gone quick, but also kind of slow. I have to edit them all, so it's slow for me, but quick. Hopefully you're enjoying this. I'm having a blast. There are going to be some changes here coming up. We're starting a podcast. We're just working out some details. We're down to the testing mode, and it's going to be a video podcast, so it'll still be on YouTube on our channel. But it'll be mostly talky discussion about non-political type stuff, unless it's whiskey politics. But
and only when it's relevant.
Right.
That's my rule.
There's a possibility we'll move some of our content to the podcast only and not do all of that, so we'll let you know.
Like the more weird things, like the beer episodes we've done in the past, might just go to that.
And probably the coffee episodes.
And probably coffee.
Yeah. Might just do the podcast on Wednesdays, and like every other Wednesday's a coffee discussion. It'll be probably over coffee and whiskey. So.
Yeah. Just depends on when we're filming.
Yeah. So look forward to that. Also look forward to more on the scene type stuff at distilleries and, travel into whiskey lands and whatever. Interviews, a lot more interviews coming up. We have an episode coming up probably Thursday where you and I and our friend Josh sit down and do a really cool thing with select barrels. I just have to, that's a lot of editing.
Yeah, and it was very interesting.
It was. And then I have somebody come talk about women in whiskey, so that's going to be exciting. So lots of good things coming up in the next 500 episodes. 500 plus because of whiskey. And I think we might get my wife on the channel to do some stuff. I think she wants to join the podcast.
She's giving you the death stare.
No, she's not. She's the one that brought it up. So, all right. I hope you have a great week. Obviously, leave some comments below. Check out all of our videos Monday through Friday. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and our partnership. Those links are in the bottom. And remember, there's no bad whiskey. There's only good whiskey and great whiskey. And this is really, really good. This is great whiskey.
This is great whiskey.
Yeah, this is great whiskey. All right, cheers.
Cheers.
I've been very conscious of not showing the logo on this cup, and Cody's just like straight up like,